My never say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, see them yopo.
Agenda 111 at the end of 8 years, Mr. Speaker. There was not one single hospital. I'm not engendering debate. I'm just trying to explain the circumstances. Mr. Speaker, Agenda 111. At the end of 8 years, Mr. Speaker, there was not one single hospital.
Item 7. Yes, Honorable
Speaker, leadership has consulted, and to that end, may I come under Order 67-2 and seek your leave for business to be varied, for us to take item 8. Item 8, just a statement that stands in the name of the minority leader, after which we'll revert to item 7. Speaker, with your leave.
Leadership of the majority.
Mr. Speaker, I thought earlier on, the front bench of the minority wanted to spend time with the finance minister in the chamber. That's what I thought. Earlier on, that they wanted to spend time with the finance minister in the chamber. Now he's in a hurry to make a statement and leave the chamber. Mr. Speaker, I think that he should wait so long as finance minister is here, so that he can spend more time with the finance minister. So I think his statement can wait. The finance minister is not going anywhere. They can have more time together. And then the minister for Works and Housing, however, has so many other things that he needs to do. So let's take the question and then have the Minister for Works and Housing answer his questions so that he can have more time with the finance minister. This is one of the things I admire about the majority leader. I mean, when we have an agreement. This is a very good agreement that we should pursue. Yes, we want him to be here. And this is not a matter we should litigate further. But a while ago, we staged a good compromise for him. Why is he doing this? This is not in good. Be fair to us. He should stay. The finance minister should stay. I think he's in agreement. The majority leader is in agreement. So in any case, it is not at his.
Honorable members, item 8, statement. Our attention is drawn to a statement to be made by the minority leader. We may listen to that statement. I'm told it's a short statement. Then after that, we could take the questions. Yes, please.
Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity to make this statement, and let me thank colleagues in leadership for this treasure space. Mr. Speaker, I rise on this solemn occasion to lay before this House a matter that cuts...
Honorable member, is this occasion solemn?
Oh, Mr. Speaker, to the extent the matter I'm raising, it's because somebody is dead. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker,
you are talking about the subject matter you are yet.
That is so.
Yes, but the occasion now
very well.
is the
Mr. Speaker, very
sitting
well.
of.
That's okay. Mr. Speaker, that's
please.
Fine. Mr. Speaker, that's fine. Mr. Speaker, that's fine. Mr. Speaker, I rise in this chamber with a heavy heart, weighed down by grief, with a spirit stirred by righteous indignation, and with a profound sense of national covenant broken. Mr. Speaker, we must today confront a truth as painful as it is undeniable. Our healthcare system, the sanctuary to which citizens flee in their most fragile hour, failed. It failed catastrophically, and it failed fatally. Let me be emphatic. This is not a partisan matter. Therefore, this chamber must not descend into the usual theater of political point scoring. It is not about the NDC nor the MPP. This transcends political advantage. Mr. Speaker, this is about a human being, a young Ghanaian citizen. His name was Charles Emisa, a 29-year-old man in the prime of his life, reportedly employed by Promasidor Ghana Limited, who should, by every moral and legal right, be alive today. Instead, he perished. He died in the back of an ambulance, virtually on the streets of our capital city, because the institutions mandated to protect life turned him away. Mr. Speaker, on the 9th of the 6th of February 2026, Charles Emisa was involved in a hit-and-run accident at the Circle Overpass. At 10:32 p.m., the ambulance 15 received a distress call. At 10:33, it mobilized. At 10:35, it was on site. Let the record show the Ghana Ambulance Service performed its duty with professionalism and dispatch. They found him bleeding profusely, assessed him. His vital signs were recorded: blood pressure 120/90, pulse 100 beats per minute, oxygen saturation 99%. These were the vital signs of a living man, a man with a fighting chance. They stabilized him, controlled the hemorrhage, and rushed him to the gates of hope. But hope, Mr. Speaker, was met with a closed door. At the police hospital, they were told, quote, "No bed," end quote. At the Rich Hospital, the answer was the same: no bed. At Kolebu Teaching Hospital, our premier medical facility, they were rejected again. Let us be clear on what this means. At none of these facilities was triage conducted. At none were vital signs even taken. Charles Emisa remained in that ambulance, his life ebbing away, while the institutions established by the Republic of Ghana to save him refused to receive him. After approximately 30 minutes of this shameful odyssey, he went into cardiac arrest. Despite the effort of the ambulance crew, CPR yielded no response. He was pronounced dead. A life extinguished, not by the initial accident, by a systemic failure of the state. Mr. Speaker, this House must particularly be outraged because this was not merely an accident of circumstance. It was a direct violation of state policy. In 2018, under the leadership of the then Director General of Ghana Health Service, a clear directive was issued explicitly prohibiting the denial of emergency care on the basis of bed availability. The directive was unequivocal. It mandated immediate triage, immediate stabilization, and the use of alternative surfaces, couches, tables, wheelchairs, and where beds were unavailable. The principle was and remains simple: stabilize first, resolve bed logistics later. In the case of Charles Emisa, that principle was abandoned and a man died as a result. Mr. Speaker, before I proceed further, it is right and proper that we pause. We must look beyond the policy failures and statistics and see the face of a young man who we have lost. I wish, on behalf of my side of the House, and I believe I speak for every honorable member present, to extend our deepest, most heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and colleagues of Charles Emisa, who now face an unthinkable void. To his siblings, his loved ones, and his colleagues at Promisido, Ghana Limited, we share your immeasurable grief. Nothing we do here, Mr. Speaker, today will bring Charles back. But let it never be said that this parliament heard of such a tragedy and remain unmoved is the reason why, Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for this treasure space to make this statement. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, while we hold our public institutions to account, we must not lose sight of the fact that this tragic chain of events was set in motion by a cowardly act. A hit-and-run driver struck down Charles Emisa and fled the scene, leaving him for dead. I therefore call upon the Ghana Police Service to deploy every resource, every investigative technique, and every intelligence capable at their disposal to track down and apprehend this individual. Justice for Charles demands that the person whose reckless actions precipitated this nightmare be found and made to answer fully before the law. Let them know that the long arm of the Ghanaian state will not tire until they are brought to account. Mr. Speaker, I respectfully invite this honorable House not to be silent over this. Now we must act. We are informed that the ministry and HEFRA have launched investigations. We welcome these actions, but let no one mistake executive inquiry for parliamentary oversight. Under Article 103 of the 1992 Constitution, this House has the primary duty to investigate matters of public importance and to expose inefficiencies and maladministration. Therefore, in all humility but with firmness of mind, I call on the Health Committee to be immediately empowered to do the following. 1, and Mr. Speaker, with your directive, summon the chief executive officers and heads of emergency units of the 3 hospitals involved. 2, demand production of triage logs, duty rosters, and bed occupancy records for that night. 3, establish conclusively whether the 2018 Ghana Health Service Directive was breached. And finally, determine whether professional misconduct or negligence occurred. If misconduct is found, sanctions must follow. If negligence is proven, prosecution must follow. If a systematic failure is identified, comprehensive reform must follow. Mr. Speaker, let me leave the House with these final thoughts. If a young man can be carried from one public hospital to another, refuse at every door until he dies, then the social contract is broken and none of us, I repeat, none of us is safe. Not the rich, not the poor, not the politician, not the ordinary man on the streets. The death of Charles Emisa must force this nation to change. Human life cannot be subordinate to administrative convenience. Emergency cannot be optical. Our hospitals do not have the moral or legal discretion to abandon the dying. Mr. Speaker, I so humbly submit. Thank you so much indeed.
Yes, thank you so much. Honourable members, this is a very important statement and is of serious public interest. So let's take it as such and give the proper lead and further investigation into the matter. Please, Deputy Minister for Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to comment on the statement made by the Honourable Minority Leader. Mr. Speaker, the death of any Ghanaian in this matter is unfortunate. I would like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family and the loved ones of the deceased, and also to the entire nation. Mr. Speaker, I am the Deputy Minister of Health and also a traumatologist. In other words, I'm trained as a trauma surgeon specialist and consultant. Mr. Speaker, the event that led to this unfortunate incidents and demise of the gentleman is tragic and should not happen. Mr. Speaker, in surgery, we call this a never event. Mr. Speaker, a never event is an event that should never happen. Under no circumstance, Mr. Speaker, should a human being die this way. Mr. Speaker, however, governance is a continuum. Mr. Speaker, we have the ministry has, as the Honorable Minority Leader said, has constituted a committee that is looking into the issue. And in fact, they have met today. We have also done preliminary inquiries. And Mr. Speaker, as we all know, I believe that the management of Kolebu Teaching Hospital has also independently interdicted some of their workers that were in the emergency room that night. However, Mr. Speaker, the conditions under which the current government came into running the country, Mr. Speaker, was rather dire when you talk about our health system. Mr. Speaker, this was the previous government started the Agenda 111 project, Mr. Speaker. Agenda 111 at the end of 8 years, Mr. Speaker, there was not one single hospital there. I'm not engendering debate. I'm just trying to explain the circumstances. Mr. Speaker, Agenda 111, at the end of 8 years, Mr. Speaker, there was not one single hospital that was operational. Mr. Speaker, in fact, what we came to meet was multiple hospitals littered around the country, some of them at foundation level. There was not one hospital that a human being could walk in. However, they had spent millions and billions of Ghana cedis, to the extent that, Mr. Speaker, the Auditor General surcharged 35 contractors 7.9 million. And the refund that the Auditor General, Service surcharged.
Honorable Deputy Minister, please focus on the major issue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am guided. Mr. Speaker, the current government is serious about what is happening in our emergency rooms. We have constituted a committee that is looking into it. We are collecting data as to what is actually happening in our emergency rooms. Mr. Speaker, the issue is multifaceted. Is it the pre-hospital, the ambulance, the pre-hospital care, or is it indeed what is happening in our emergency rooms? The ambulance service, Mr. Speaker, we had 30 ambulances that are currently parked. Mr. Speaker, in the last 5 years, the ambulance service personnel have not been recertified. Mr. Speaker, the ambulance was there because of the proximity to the ambulance service. They got there on time and they did what was necessary. Mr. Speaker, the issue of no bed syndrome, unfortunately, is not a new issue. This issue has existed for so long, and unfortunately, we or the previous government was not able to fix it. Mr. Speaker, in this government, we will take a bold step. The John Dramani Mahama government is going to take a bold step to solve the problem of no bed syndrome. Mr. Speaker, we are going to retool the hospitals, starting from the Chiefs compound to the health centers, all the way up to
Majority Leader. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, they requested to make a statement. I knew that this statement will raise issues. But at conclave, you said we should have it. Now, you've made a statement. She's commenting on it. And Mr. Speaker, just imagine the level of noise that is emanating from the other side. So, Mr. Speaker, can you imagine somebody using the word very insensitive?
Honorable members, please, let's listen to each other.
Yes, we need to listen to each other. You may think it is insensitive. You are talking about no bed syndrome. What does no bed mean? It means you didn't construct enough hospitals and provide enough beds. That's what no bed means. That's what no bed means. You may disagree with her, but that's her view. That's her view, that this is the underlying cause of the problem. That the hospitals don't have the beds. They don't have the space. They don't have the capacity. Because you promised and you did not deliver. You may disagree with her, but that's her view. Please, let's listen to each other.
Honorable members.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Please.
We agreed to leave the hospital.
We agreed that we'll take 3 from each side of the house. So kindly wait when it's your turn. Then you can put across your views. But honorable members, I thought we agreed on some key issues. You are a Deputy Minister of Health. Do you need a bed to attend to emergency situation?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. By definition, Mr. Speaker, an ambulance itself is a bed. An ambulance is what we classify as a step-down unit. The cart in the ambulance can be considered a bed. So in such cases, a patient can be treated in the ambulance.
Yes.
That this is the time to at least strengthen Parliament oversight on some of these matters, so that the committee, whose members have taken an oath, can interrogate some of these things, bearing in mind the essence of time, because Honorable Niti will argue that issue, that much as we want to put in place some measures, we should also ensure that we don't delay the release of funds for operations. The system that we put in place must be said that we balance oversight with prudence when it comes to operations. Honorable Minister, that in my view is also missing. Mr. Speaker, let us look at Article 21, 23, conjointively with 18. Mr. Speaker, 23 and 21 are very, very fundamental. We are dealing with issues of administrative justice. How sure are we that this bill will not give the security agencies that continued unfettered right to be using ex parte applications in the name of national security to continue to abuse the right of citizens, especially those who do not have the means to employ lawyers to defend them? Mr. Speaker, many of our citizens are poor and cannot afford legal representation. For these citizens, they must be in our contemplation at an important juncture like this whilst we are enacting this law. If we don't bring clarity in this, Mr. Speaker, we'll be creating problem for the many who may not have the means to get high-class legal representation. And what happens to them? They will go to the BNI and then they will be told that, oh, you write this statement and just have your bail. They will write the next moment, they go to court and they tell them that, my lord, he said he admitted to the offense and he's guilty as pleaded. He doesn't have a lawyer. The next moment he's in jail. There are many more of such cases. Mr. Speaker, I am a practitioner in our court, and I know many situations that people don't know about their own rights, and our security agencies have relied on laws to deny them
leader.
their rights.
Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, the minority leader is a senior member of this House, and he knows that he cannot depart from the terms of the report and move into anticipation. Order 1251 is clearly in breach of Order 1251. He can't do that. He's anticipating what will happen tomorrow, what will happen the day after tomorrow. You can't do that. No. The law, there are rules forbid anticipation. You can't be arguing in anticipation in respect of a report, the terms of which are very clear before you. You can't be arguing in a preemptive manner, anticipating that this will happen, and that will happen, and that will also happen. Mr. Speaker, he's a senior member, he's a leader. We learn from him. He's a leader. He should stay within the terms of the report.
Honorable Leader, take note of the observation, and also take note of the fact that clause 29 to 31 is a repetition of Act 1030.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, to the extent that my colleague suggests to this House that I am going outside of the issue before us, Mr. Speaker, I would like to respond for Hansa to also capture same. Mr. Speaker, I strongly disagree with him. At this stage of the lawmaking process is where all issues and concerns are expressed. The matter I raise has to do with what happens in our courts. And I am saying that I have witnessed situations where rights are abused because such citizens who came into contact with the security agencies in one way or the other did not have to have access to representation. Mr. Speaker, as a result of that, they suffer some injustice. All I'm saying is that if we are enacting, it is important that we bring clarity and safeguard the rights of citizens. We should provide for these so that the security agencies, as part of their own administrative duties, will be guided. Mr. Speaker, until we ensure that citizens were not detained beyond 48 hours, until all of us spoke about it, that this is enshrined in the Constitution, there were times that citizens were detained by security agencies beyond 48 hours. But Mr. Speaker, because the law is clear and unambiguous, such abuses have limited. Even so, such abuses have not stopped. Mr. Speaker, I would want to say that the over-concentration of power in the appointment process without Parliament having the opportunity to vet is a matter of serious concern that this House must look at even as we go into the consideration stage. Mr. Speaker, 2, I have also identified a weak accountability mechanism. It is largely dominated by the executive oversight rather than parliamentary oversight. And I've stated that, and I will not repeat it. Mr. Speaker, I also acknowledge the fact that there must be some level of secrecy. I agree, national security issues must not be made public. However, I need to repeat for the record that to the extent that Parliament itself in its wisdom has enacted its regulation that creates a new committee responsible for national security, Mr. Speaker, there must be unfettered disclosure to the extent that members on that committee, Mr. Speaker, have taken oath. Mr. Speaker, looking at this enactment, it appears again that there is some broad, rather loosely framed, intrusive powers and weak warrant regime. Mr. Speaker, I would delve deep into this when we get into the consideration stage. I've already emphasized what happened not too long ago with this warrant for search and all of that. Mr. Speaker, this law does not address it fully. And it appears that, Mr. Speaker, what we are seeking to do is to create a much more intrusive institution. We are allowing a new warrant regime, complicating matters, and this would further affect citizens, especially political witch hunting. Mr. Speaker, we should also be mindful of the politicization of the regional and district security councils. Those regional security coordinators and the district security coordinators, if you go through the enactment, we do not define their essential qualification for appointment. Are they going to be party members who would be given job for the boys, so you are a district security coordinator or regional security coordinator? When they see somebody's cassava in a pickup, they go and chase you. They say, for national security reason, we stopped you. When they see that there is a car going, somebody has bought his new car, they will chase you and come and say, where did you get money to buy this new car? Mr. Speaker, I say some of these things from experience. Just about a month ago, my own pickup was chased by a so-called regional security coordinator and arrested the driver and said that, he has information from national security. Meanwhile, it was not true. When he realized that the car was mine, he said, sorry. Meanwhile, he had arrested the guy, frustrated him, and I don't want to say he extorted money from him for not having a registered car. Mr. Speaker, if such a person was a professional and by enactment he has gone through the vetting process of appointment and knows what he is supposed to do, Mr. Speaker, he won't do such a thing. So, Mr. Speaker, this bill must also look at it carefully and not just think that because you need to have certain positions filled, anybody at all should be there. Mr. Speaker, I shall conclude by saying that this bill does not reform the security architecture of our country. It rather entrenches it and worsens it. Mr. Speaker, the bill preserves the old problematic architecture without substantive reform, carrying over existing appointment and practices. For these reasons, Mr. Speaker, I believe that though the committee has done a good work at consideration, there will be the need for the minister to sit with us as a house, do further winnowing, and incorporate the major concerns raised by the minority on this floor, so that, Mr. Speaker, in the end, we would have a bill that is citizenry friendly, a bill that ensures transparency, a bill that allows Parliament to scrutinize and properly oversight the work of the security architecture of our country. Mr. Speaker, that said, I shall resume my seat without more. Thank you.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Right Honourable Speaker, you know, in private practice, the way that you you get to increase your fees is to speak copiously in court. Even if you say nothing, just speak copiously in court. Because after the clients, when they finish, they say,
My lawyer spoke.
"Ooh, the way my lawyer Kano." Did you see the way my lawyer was talking? The other lawyers in the courtroom know that he said nothing. And I'm saying this because I have listened to all that my friends on the other side have said, and I cannot hear anything. I cannot hear anything. And the reason why I say I cannot hear anything is simple. We all know that under the NPP, in 2020, you brought a bill to this house, ostensibly to revise the Security and Intelligence Agencies Act. The existing law then.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.